We are halfway through the month of October. How is your WIP coming along, your work in progress? If you're stuck, frustrated, overwhelmed, confused, and simply not sure what you should do next, I invite you to reserve a spot with my one-on-one book coaching. Get your session today. I still have 4 slots available for this month and they will go quickly. So be sure to head on over to the link in the show notes to reserve your spot. And if you're not exactly sure if coaching, a little one-on-one, one-off session is really beneficial, if you'll get much out of it, consider what Nikki had to say about our 30-minute session together last week. She says, and I quote, "Thank you, Dalene. I left our meeting with clarity and peace to move forward to the next few steps. I cannot thank you enough." So she was waiting for her manuscript to come back from the editor when she realized that she didn't know exactly what things she needed to do next. She had done lots of research. She knew a lot about self-publishing, but she didn't know the exact steps. She was a little confused about what she should do and in what order. And so I was able to help her create a custom action plan based on where she's at and where she wanted to go. Not everyone writes the same way. Not everyone has the same goals. Every book is different. And so you need that custom action plan. And that's something that I love to be able to help my clients do. And so take advantage of that opportunity, grab one of those 4 seats, and make sure that you are moving forward in your author journey this month. All right. So let's dive into today's topic about how and where to get more book reviews. As an aspiring author, I'm sure you've heard that book reviews are important. If you are an experienced author with many books under your belt, you know how important book reviews are for getting more promotions, getting more eyes on your book, and selling more books. That's the ultimate goal, right? Well, a few weeks ago, I shared in my newsletter about the need for more book reviews. And in fact, I asked the question, what would you do to get more reviews? And so I just wanted to dive into that in more detail here on the podcast. So many authors desire large numbers of reviews on launch day, or at least launch week, right? This is to help. Note that that doesn't mean guarantee, but lots of book reviews help to get your book into the bestseller status. I'm not a big fan of bestseller status. I have a whole YouTube video about my thoughts about bestseller status. You can check that out using the link in the show notes. But basically, a lot of people want to get that bestseller status. And so having lots of reviews can help. Doesn't guarantee that you will reach bestseller status because that ultimately comes down to the quality of your book. The cover, does it attract people in the first place? And then is your writing quality writing? Is it a good story? Does it offer value? If it's a nonfiction self-help book, does it actually provide a solution, right? All of those things are of primary importance. Okay. But I digress. Let's really dig into what we're going to talk about today. So, how many book reviews do you need? Let's start there. It's widely rumored that if you hit the magic number of 50 reviews on Amazon, that their algorithm will suddenly start promoting your book for you. And I've heard this over and over again. I've seen it many places on social. I've seen it online, on blogs, so forth. And so I dug into it, tried to do some fact checking, and everything that I have found leads me to believe that that's just a myth. I wasn't able to find anything from Amazon itself saying that if you hit 50 reviews, we will promote your book. I did not find that anywhere. But what my research did find, and it's common sense, is that reviews are a form of engagement. And we know that online, on social media platforms, and on Amazon alike, engagement is picked up on, right? It is true that reviews equal engagement, which means that it's somewhat helpful in the algorithm. Now, it's not going to shoot your book up to the front page of Amazon in your genre. It's not going to do something magic like that. But engagement helps Amazon see that, oh, okay, people are paying attention to this title, so we will not shove it down to the last. Now, when it comes to buying Amazon ads, experts like Jane Friedman recommend that you have at least 10 book reviews. Okay, that will help promote ads. So there's some credence to that, to at least aim for 10 if ads are in your horizon. A lot of authors have great success with Amazon ads, and they have greater success if they have at least 10 positive reviews, right? Not just 10 in general, but 10 positive reviews. So everyone seems to agree that positive book reviews and star ratings make the biggest impact on potential buyers on your product page. So regardless of whether or not the Amazon's algorithm pays any attention to your book reviews, your potential readers, the potential book buyers, do pay attention to reviews. I know a lot of people who won't buy a book if there are no reviews, there are very few reviews, or there are a lot of negative reviews. There is a desire among many authors to garner large numbers of reviews, and sometimes they employ questionable tactics. That's not something that I encourage you to do. But even well-intentioned novice authors sometimes unintentionally, unwittingly follow bad advice. Okay, so it's more important than ever to vet your sources before following anyone's advice, especially when it comes to pertaining book reviews. Why? Why is this important now more than ever? Well, because the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, has recently approved a new rule that prohibits the following points. And I am going to include a link in the show notes to the FTC ruling that includes the full 163 pages. Okay. But following is the summary. Okay. The most important takeaways, I think, for you, my listeners, my viewers, if you're watching this on YouTube. So, what do you want to avoid? You want to avoid fake or false consumer reviews, testimonials, and celebrity testimonials. Okay. So, you can't write a fake review, an AI review that someone did not write. You can't claim to be a celebrity. You can't write something and post somebody's name on it, against the rules. You also cannot buy positive or negative reviews. So, no buying of reviews. You cannot have insider reviews or consumer testimonials. So if you're a business selling products, for example, or services, you cannot have your staff write reviews on your behalf. Okay. No company controlled review websites. You cannot suppress reviews, and you are not to misuse of fake social media indicators. I'm assuming that means you can't inflate your likes or followers or any of that. So what happens if they catch you? Well, the maximum civil penalty for fake reviews is a dollar amount, and it's a large dollar amount for many of us, $51,744 for each violation. Okay, so my audience is a Christian writer audience. Obviously, I'm assuming that you're not going to intentionally do any of this. But it's good to know that the FTC is taking the bad actors to task, that there is someone who is overseeing this. That's good to know. But like I said, we don't want to unwittingly do anything. So as it pertains to authors, the FTC rules follow along what's already been in existence for rules for Amazon, as well as GOODREADS for years. I'm including links to each of their specific guidelines in the show notes as well for Amazon and Goodreads. So you can read those at your leisure, because I know you're probably listening to this while you are doing something else. And if you're watching on YouTube, you might not have had pen and paper handy to note down everything that I said. So there are going to be links there for you to go to if you so desire. But the FTC ruling now enables the prosecution of such actions in a court of law within the United States. So before with Amazon or Goodreads, it was just, well, they take down the reviews or ban you or that kind of thing. But now there's an other level. You could be fined for doing that. So what does this look like in layman's terms, like practicality? What kind of situations could you find yourself in? Well, you never want to offer any of your beta readers a financial reward for leaving a review. And you certainly don't want to pay anyone or bribe anyone in any way to leave only a positive review. What you want to do is ask for honest feedback, whether it's pro or con. You just want their honest feedback, because really, as an author, you want honest feedback so you can improve your writing. Yes, there are always going to be the handful of naysayers that aren't going to like what you read, and you don't like everything that you read either. That's okay. So, a good goal is to obtain 10 to 50 book reviews on Amazon. There was one article I read and I neglected to bookmark it, but it was saying that there's no real proof that anything more than 50, like some people want to have hundreds or thousands of reviews, but there's nothing that shows that having that many reviews is any better than just having 10 to 50 reviews. So knock it out if you want to, but it's not necessary. Just aim for 10 to 50. A lot of people only focus on Amazon. At least a lot of authors only focus on Amazon, but a lot of readers focus on Goodreads. If you as an author are ignoring Goodreads, you might be ignoring a really great place to get potential book buyers as well as reviewers. Both Amazon and Goodreads are owned by the same company. Goodreads is owned by Amazon, but they work independently. They're vastly different from each other. If you're looking for more reviews on launch day, especially if you're a first-time author with a small list, you might consider doing a Goodreads giveaway. This offers an ARC, an advanced reader copy, in exchange for an honest review on Goodreads. Now, important thing to note here is that if a reader leaves a review on Goodreads, that review is not automatically added to Amazon. Like I said, they're operated independently. So that review only stays on Goodreads, but it's still a valid review. It all depends on where your emphasis is. Do you want 10 to 50 on Amazon and 10 to 50 on Goodreads? Maybe, that's up to you. Just throwing these pieces of information out there for you to consider. Another place that you can garner more book reviews is through NetGalley, NETGALLEY, NetGalley. I hear little about this service within indie author circles, but it's an option you might want to investigate, considering the fact that traditional and hybrid publishers use NetGalley for their authors. So I think this is really interesting. So often, indie authors feel less than because they don't have the access to like PR and marketing, all that like the traditional publishers have. But here is a way for you to use this exact same service to reach book reviewers, or at least look into it. I don't know if it's going to be within your price range, your price point, but it's definitely something to consider. Since many of you might not be familiar with NetGalley, I thought that I would read a little bit from their website to explain. And I'll put a link to their website in the show notes as well. But this is from NetGalley, and I quote, "We work with publishers of all sizes and welcome boutique publishers and independent authors to pay per title if you have a limited publication schedule. The pay per title plan is recommended for publishers and authors listing 1 to 4 books per year. With this option, you will pay a one-time fee for each individual ebook you'd like to add to NetGalley. You will have access to create widgets which is a pre-approved link you can use to invite your own contacts to view your book, and can also view detailed profiles of the NetGalley members who request the book from you. A detailed profile of each member who requests a title from you is available to view so you can make the most informed decision. They go on to say that detailed reporting about activity for your book is also included. These reports will show whether members downloaded the book and specific feedback, including reviews, star ratings, reason for request, suggested keywords, and opinions. End quote. But in addition to Goodreads and NetGalley, which enable you to discover new potential readers, you need to neglect your own email list. We all know how important that email list is, right? One of my email subscribers replied to my newsletter that was talking about book reviews, saying that they feel bad asking their list over and over and over again for a review, and wondered if I had any tips for how to ask their list yet again. This particular author had published their book last year and is still looking for additional reviews. And I do have some suggestions. And if this is something that you're struggling with as well, take note. First of all, remember that your list is comprised of individuals. They're individual people. So rather than sending out a message to your entire list again, which you've probably already done several times, instead of sending out a mass email saying, "Would you write a review?" send out individual, personalized emails to those who haven't yet left a review. Okay, so this is especially important if these people, if you know who was on your launch team, right? I know some people have launch teams of 100 to 150 people. And so you can start there with the people that haven't left a review, even though that was part of the agreement, right? And also, if there are people that have purchased the book, a lot of times we know who has purchased our book. They might have made a comment, or you've seen different things or out and about. So those people you want to target first. And if there are a lot of people, like say of the 150 launch team, maybe only 25 left a review, and so you still have 125 people to reach out to, that's a lot, but you can do 5 or 10 a week of these personalized emails. Simply email them and say, "Thanks again for purchasing XYZ," the title of your book. Or if they're on your launch team, say, "Thanks again for being on my launch team. I'd love to know what you liked most about the book. Any feedback you can provide would be greatly appreciated." Exclamation point. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay. You can provide them with a direct link to the review page on the platform you want to get the review. So whether it's Amazon or Goodreads, and you can provide them with detailed instructions of how to leave the review on that page. Okay, sometimes it's not really intuitive, especially if they have never left reviews before. You might want to mention that you have to scroll down, and when you see this written, then you click on XYZ and you can leave your review. Just leave them detailed instructions. Make it as simple as possible for them to leave a review. Now, if they respond in an email to you and say what they liked about the book, this is what you want to do. You reply back, and in that reply, you're going to copy and paste that feedback that they provided, put it in your response email, make any adjustments, minor tweaks. If something doesn't quite read right to you, you can tweak it slightly because you're sending it back to them for their approval. And you're going to ask them to simply copy and paste that exact sentence or phrase or paragraph into Amazon. And again, provide them with this link to the review page and the same detailed instructions, and just simply ask them, "Thank you so much for providing this feedback. I really appreciate it. And if you just do me one more favor and simply copy and paste your feedback into Amazon, go here and do it. I really appreciate it." And most often they'll do it. Not everyone will, but will encourage more to do it. It's not guaranteed, but it is better than not asking at all. One thing to note of importance here is that you cannot, let me emphasize again, cannot copy and paste the feedback you get in an email onto Amazon or Goodreads for them on their behalf. You cannot post their comment their book review on their behalf. That's against the rules. The reader has to be the one to post the feedback, the review. And if they received an ARC copy, an advanced reader copy, they need to state that as well on the review. Amazon routinely checks for verified purchases. And if someone leaves a review, but their Amazon account doesn't show that they purchased said book, then there's a good chance that Amazon will strike or remove that review. So if they also mention this was an ARC copy, an ARC copy, then Amazon will be like, okay, that makes sense. We'll leave this review. Also, do not ask close friends and family members to leave a review, especially on Amazon. So these individuals, close family and friends, are considered biased sources by Amazon. They will remove reviews by such people. And you might wonder, well, how would they even know if they're related to me or a close friend? That's where Amazon's friendly relationship with Meta comes in. Okay. So shares your friend list to Amazon. So those thousands of followers and subscribers you worked so hard to attain to build your author platform is great for engagement on Facebook, Instagram, what have you, that's owned by Meta, but it counts against you on Amazon if they leave you a review. Just want you to know that ahead of time. So, what's today's takeaway? Keep asking for reviews, but do it openly, honestly, and receive them graciously, regardless of whether they're glowing accolades or derisive dismissals. And remember, we're ultimately writing and working for the Lord. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in his faithfulness. Psalm 96:13. So tell me, what do you do for reviews? If you are watching on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're listening to the podcast, be sure to click the send me feedback link in the show notes and let me know what you do for reviews. And if you haven't already subscribed on YouTube or on the podcast, be sure that you do that right now. Click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future episodes of the Ink and Impact podcast.